We're getting some reports flowing in, but the weather's pretty ordinary, I can assure you of that. And it doesn't look like it's going to be hugely better this weekend, but through next week, looks like it could fire up big time. All we need is a week, maybe 2 weeks of that warm, sunny weather, and the yellows are going to go crazy, I can assure you. They're getting a few now, admittedly, but we're getting some good reports from Dartmouth Dam. Meso down Albury, Compleat angler down there tells me that Dartmouth's pretty consistent. Been fishing reasonably well, surface, or when I say surface, Tassie Devil, wing lures, just below the surface, fishing well. You don't have to use lead line or anything like that, especially when it's a bit ripply on the surface. You'll find that you'll get fish pretty well all day, so it looks promising. If it does come out bright and sunny and goes glassy calm, throw a bit of lead line on, you'll get fish all day without any trouble at all. Hume Weir, it's been consistent. Been a lot of big trout coming out of the Hume Weir, and we're really happy with it. Some big browns. You know, you're not going to get dozens for the day. You might get your 2 or 3 or 4 if you're lucky, but they're very good fish. You know, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pound are very common at the moment down there. Wing lures like your Tassies, cobras, anything like that. But one of the hot lures down there at the moment has been the little Yakamito slim minnows. To get them in brown rainbow trout, they get some very nice fish on them. You get them in a 60 mil or 100 mil, doesn't seem to matter. The bigger ones seem to be producing some good sized fish. Where I'm getting great reports from down there is below the Hume Weir wall. They're letting a bit more water out, and it's really kicked into gear. Getting some fantastic trout down there. Really happy with it. The Vic streams won't be as easy this week as they were last week. It's been a little bit of rain down there. It's clouded them up a little bit, so you're going to have to work a little bit harder. Murrumbidgee River around here, haven't had a lot of great reports out of it. There's a few fish getting caught off the bank with bait, a few blokes out there on boats just bobbing a few yabbies around, a few grubs, and they're getting the odd fish. Don't forget, it is close season for cod. If you catch one, you must release it straight away, and they are catching a few cod, but the yellows are starting to move. Now, I'm hoping that we can get some good fine weather, like I say, and we can fish just below the Berrinbed Weir. We'll get some very good yellows there. Also, the weir behind Collin Gully in Beavers Creek, or Old Man Creek as you commonly know it, it should be very good. Old Man Creek's not too bad, it's worth an effort. Bundajerry Channel, certainly worth the effort. Blowering Dam, a little bit patchy over the last 2 weeks. Been a few fish getting caught, but they're working pretty hard for them. The redfin have broken up a bit, but you will find them if you know how to use your fish finder. There's a bit of a fishing comp up there this weekend. Blowering, Jinama, Talbingo. There's a comp in those 3 dams, and there will be a fair few fish caught, I can assure you, but most of them will be targeting reddish yellows. They're not targeting cod, so just keep that in mind. Yukonbean, plenty of fish. The trout are going really well up there. If you can put up with the miserable weather, cold weather, you're going to get good numbers of fish on the troll, and some pretty respectable sized trout. Rainbows and browns all seem to be in reasonable condition. Get the odd one that's a bit slabby, but not too bad. Fishing off the bank with bait is definitely much better. If you're going into Tantanga, I'd probably think twice. With this crappy weather, there's going to be a lot of snow around in that area, so I probably wouldn't bother with Tantanga for a little while. Jindabyne, it's not as good as Yukonbean. I wouldn't drive past Yukonbean to go to Jindy, so a little bit of action there. Burrinjuck Dam, getting a few reports come in. They're starting to get a few yellows off the bank with bait, especially right up Tamus Bridge, Good Hope, I mentioned that last week, right up in any of the shallower grassy banks, up the Wee Jasper Arm, up past around Carey Reserve, anywhere like that, up past Wade Island, you'll get yellows off the bank. You may even pick up the odd big cod if you're going to troll a few lures, but make sure that you're not using big lures, because you may have a chance of picking up yellow. They haven't started moving on the lures yet, but it won't be long. Wangler Dam off the bank with bait seems to be reasonably consistent. Worms in particular, same as Burrinjuck, worms off the bank, definitely the way to go. Getting a few reports from Compleat, if anybody's thinking of heading up that way. It's been pretty quiet over the last 2 weeks, the odd fish coming out of it. It's not worth getting excited about. They're starting to get a few yellows there. The cod have quietened down a fair bit, only because it's been dropping a little bit. And I did get a couple of reports from a while, and it was pretty quiet down there. This is the Compleat English Fishing Report for this week. We'll catch you next week.